If you're not happy with how you're doing financially and you don't know how you've got in such a financial mess, then you could have formed unconscious money habits that are becoming detrimental to your chances of achieving financial independence, such as saving for the deposit for a home, buying a new car, or paying off your debt. In this video, I'll be covering 4 money habits so you can identify areas where you can level up your game and improve your finances. The third habit is one that even if you're perfect with saving and tracking your expenses, it will still ruin your chances of becoming wealthy. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yasser Khan, and I spent a decade working for the FTSE 100 investment company, and I'm also a successful entrepreneur here in the UK. The first money habit is not understanding how much you earn and where your money is going. Can you tell me what your exact after-tax salary is and how much the company you work for is paying into your pension, even how much you spent last month, and the amount of direct debits and subscriptions that you have, or how much they cost you each month? Sometimes I'm so surprised how many people, especially young people, don't track and analyze their finances and have no idea what they're spending on and how much things are costing them. Here in the West, we have some of the richest economies in history. However, when it comes to their personal finances, I feel that people are getting dumber as the years go on, especially when it comes to how they're spending and investing their hard-earned money. I feel a lot of this starts just after university. Most university students learn to live very frugally, but something changes after they graduate. They get a graduate job and they start to spend on unnecessary items, memberships, subscriptions, and even expensive concerts. And as time goes by, they actually forget how little money they need to get by on, even while enjoying themselves along the way. People these days are dreaming of building a successful financial future and dreaming about financial independence, all the while spending on mindless items that they don't really need and they don't use more than a few times. To use an analogy, it's like trying to lose weight or get fit without ever working out or eating healthy. Put simply, the people who save and invest and still have money left over to enjoy themselves, they actively track their incoming and outgoing expenditures. And crucially, they plan ahead. I feel a lot of people don't take their personal finance very seriously. They can talk in depth about the latest Netflix series that they're watching. They can tell you about the backstories, what happened in each episode, and even create alternative endings. But they will have no idea how much they're spending each week or each month. Remember this, if you want to achieve any sort of financial freedom and live a life where you're not constantly worried about paying your bills, your debts, or living in your overdraft, a life where you can treat yourself today without feeling guilty and stealing from your future self, then you need to cultivate the habit of actively tracking your finances, checking your statements, which to be honest is very easy these days with all the banking apps. Actually set a day where you sit and check what's going on with your finances. You could start on a weekly basis. And then when you're on top of things, you can start doing it on a monthly basis. Just like journaling, getting on top of your finances each week can be quite therapeutic, especially once you get used to it. As a treat, maybe have a cup of tea or your favorite chocolate while you're going through your expenses. That's what I do. I make myself a cup of tea and I like to sit and go through my personal finances. It's just a simple sit down with my laptop and check my bank accounts and check up on my share portfolio. Due to ADHD, in the beginning, I found it quite difficult, but after a while, I grew to like it, especially if I treated myself with a bit of chocolate and I had a show on Netflix on in the background. Do whatever it takes to build this habit, as it's the first step to getting on top of your financial future. Start now. Set a reminder so you can have a look where your money has gone over the last month and plan for the future over the next 12 months. Even the most wealthy people track their finances. They have a very good idea of what's happening with their bank accounts and their finances. The people you see in Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, they all know. They all know exactly what's going on with their accounts. So start now, set a reminder for yourself to have a check-in and see how you did over the last month, where you were spending, and where you went a little overboard. Due to not tracking their expenses, so many people get caught out with things like their cell phone plans, where they're charged over and above what they've actually agreed in the first place. Listen, companies in general are always looking for excuses and ways to charge you more. That's capitalism for you and your fair game. Often, providers can increase their charges while you're in the contract, mid-contract, and all they have to do is give you some sort of notice. And in the terms and conditions, it actually says that you can cancel the contract within 30 days of any price rises. But when it comes to alerting you of the price rises, you'll get an email drop into your inbox letting you know, and then there will be no phone call or a second email. And once the 30 days have lapsed, you're stuck in another contract where you're paying over and above. And you won't even realize it if you're not checking your finances. And don't get me started on credit cards. The amount of people I've spoken to who get a statement and just put it in their drawer, never for it to be seen again. Remember, banks want you to make money for them. They make it very easy for you to set up minimum payment on direct debit. Their goal is to keep you paying minimum payments each month. And that's what most people do, which is crazy. Let me give you an example. If you have a balance of £2,000 on a credit card with an APR of 26% and you only pay the minimum payment, it will take you 25 years to pay that off. Let that sink in. I will link a minimum repayment calculator down below for you to play around with. If you are getting value from this video and if you are enjoying it, please subscribe while you're down there and also leave a like, as it really helps. Looking after your finances is part of maturing and your personal development. Cutting out mindless, frivolous spending is not hard, so don't let anyone tell you that it's hard. It really isn't. Try to find joy in other interests and pursuits that don't cost as much money. Instead of going to the restaurant, take a memorable picnic and enjoy your time with friends. Maybe go out for a walk and play some sports outside instead of going to the cinemas all the time. Things like that really can help you change. And in fact, a lot of the alternatives are often healthier in every way. Oh yeah, and pay off that credit card. This second poor money habit is so insidious. As you move up the corporate ladder, you will get paid more and of course maybe enjoy a bonus as well. And you'll be tempted to spend on more and more things. And by all means, improving your life and upgrading your lifestyle is great. But if your goal becomes just to always attain materialistic things, such as the latest fashions and the latest furnishings and all of this expensive stuff, then it can take you off the next big step in achieving financial freedom. Ironically, is when they have started to earn the most money that they ever have. That's when most people get stuck and start to self-sabotage and really slow their progress to financial freedom. There is something called lifestyle inflation, which means your spending will rise as your income rises. So the more money you earn, the more money you spend. It's just a cycle where you make more money, you buy a bigger house, you buy the latest car, you get the point. The most common mistake is living beyond your means and stretching your money too far. For example, if all you could afford before was a Hyundai, and then on getting a raise, you then start stretching your finances to buy a BMW, then you're obviously stretching yourself too thin. And despite getting that pay rise, you will continue to be stuck in a perpetual paycheck to paycheck situation. So for example, if you're earning $3,000 and your expenses are $2,500 a month, then each month you could be saving $500. However, over the next few years, if you double your income to $6,000 and your expenses have now gone to $5,500 because you wanted a bigger house, a newer car, and to go on skiing holidays, then you've actually regressed, because even though your salary has doubled, you're still only saving $500 a month. That is the epitome of lifestyle inflation. To be honest, it's easily done. Like the frog getting boiled over time in water, it creeps up on you over time, and that's why it's sometimes also known as lifestyle creep. Imagine how much you can save if you make the same $6,000 and keep the lifestyle and live within the same $2,500. You can immediately start to save for the rainy day. You can pay off your car in full. You can even start to invest in things like an index fund to really start to make some progress towards your financial independence goals and building some real wealth. I think a lot of people really think the wrong way. They say, I work to pay my bills. That's what makes them get stuck in this system where they're just prioritizing their bills to exist. You should be working in your career, whether it's a 9 to 5 job or some other job, to make money for yourself first. For those people who unfortunately don't earn enough to even cover their bills and are genuinely living paycheck to paycheck, I advise you to ask your boss for a raise or move to another company. There are studies now showing that moving to another company is a surefire way of getting between 15 to 20% pay rise. And here's a pro tip. I read it in the Harvard Business Review. A study showed that when people ask for a raise with an outside offer in hand, their request is perceived as more legitimate and justified. If that doesn't work, start looking into maybe taking up some side hustle. I will be posting some videos about side hustles on this channel over the next few weeks, so subscribe now so you don't miss out. Poor money habit number 3 is not investing your money. After you've built up your emergency fund and you have some money to invest, the best way to grow your money is, of course, to invest it. Otherwise, you're losing money by having it just sitting in the bank account. You're losing it to inflation. In the last few years, I think we've all found out how bad inflation can be. It's rocked a lot of governments, the economy, and we're really not out of it. It's quite annoying when people fall for what governments are saying. You and I are the best judges of how much things are costing us and how much inflation is hurting our money. Just think for yourself. Have the items in the supermarket that you go to or your local shop that you go to come down in price in comparison to a couple of years ago? Due to governments and education bodies not making financial literacy a core mandated topic in our schools and colleges, a lot of people are very intimidated by starting to invest for themselves. However, investing can be as passive or as hands-on as you want it to be. And of course, you're not guaranteed to make money each year. However, if you're young, you should be investing anyways. You could dollar cost average into an index fund or the favorite technology companies that you like. Companies that make maybe your mobile phone like Apple, or the software you use like Microsoft, or even the car that you drive like Tesla. And even when a downturn comes, history has always shown that the market always recovers. Adjusted for inflation, the average 10-year stock market return of the S&P 500 is just over 10%. Another investment which always pays off in the long run is investing in yourself. If you don't invest in self-development or other high-income skills, you'll be forever stuck at the level or job that you currently are, and you'll never have that opportunity to even earn a higher income. Even Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, has advocated investing in your own talent over time as one of the best ways to maintain your purchasing power. Investing in yourself not only increases your marketability, but also the value that your employer places upon your skills, which of course can increase your income. I have found that often investing in yourself could be just taking advantage of some of the courses that the company that you work for is giving you. You take those courses and then you start taking on more responsibilities. And sure enough, your managers, your department and bosses will notice that you have taken initiative, you've taken on more responsibility, and in your end of year meeting, you can actually get a pay increase. Fourth money habit is not planning ahead. It can be easy to get stuck in the weekly grind of your usual work routine, going to work, going to gym, coming home, eating Netflix, relaxing, and then often ordering things from online stores to help you get through the grind and to have something to look forward to as you go through the week. I found that this habit is especially true if you don't enjoy your job and you get no job satisfaction. The problem is frivolous spending on cheaper items from
Amazon, Shein, Temu, eBay will be eating away that money you could be saving. I would personally set up a 6 month emergency fund to cover yourself if anything happens. Then I would think and plan about the next financial goals that I have, whether that is buying your first home, buying a new car, a wedding, or paying your child's college fees. Planning and having a clear goal is very important in maintaining your progress towards achieving those goals. Planning ahead and putting money aside means that when unexpected events happen, like your car breaking down or a leak in your kitchen, you can put that money that you've saved towards that without going into a stressful situation where you need to borrow on your credit card or raise a loan. We all know that unexpected events happen, always happen at the wrong time. So if you drive to work and your tire blows and you've been putting away $20 a month, after a while, those $20 a month that you've been putting away over a couple of years can really help you to sort that tire out, get your car back on the road so you can peacefully and safely go into work to earn more money. Planning does help mitigate and get through a lot of life's surprises. For example, instead of just relying on the assumption that you will always have a job, start putting away a rainy day fund. So if you do lose your job, it's not as stressful. Let me know in the comment box below if you've caught yourself unconsciously carrying out any of these habits. And if you found this video useful, you might be interested in watching this next video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.